Hey everybody, it is Napalm Dawn on G for G. Today we're in Marvel Snap and we are taking a look at the Loki for All Time season. So to discuss what's going on in this season, Loki is the season pass card and you're going to get a variant for him later on. I'm going to go through and do my season pass stuff real quick over here, so that I can get my Loki boosters out of the way. I finished up last season about 35 or 36 or so on the PvP ranking, which is fine with me. I'm not somebody who pushes for infinite. I play more for the cards and the daily quests and trying to get really high up in PvP. So I was actually pleasantly happy with my rank over there, and I got into the 50s, almost 60 for the season pass, so I was well into those end of the pass caches over there. I was somewhere in and around like this kind of a rank over here, so I was pleased with that because for a few seasons now I haven't really been achieving the season pass slamming that I've wanted to do. In terms of the decks that I ran, when I had those quests to do the one cost cards, I was running a weenie deck that unfortunately I just deleted. But this weenie deck was pulling in phenomenal wins, and it's really surprising considering the very, very low power of them. But it had cards like the Hood was in there. Bast was in there, I believe. Nebula was in there. Yeah, it was a really, really fun deck, and I'm really surprised, to use a Magic the Gathering term, that a weenie deck was getting me so many wins. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. Big timers I used a little bit. This is a Reddit deck, and so is deck 20. This is a Reddit deck too that uses Spider-Ham, Jeff, Captain Marvel, hopefully to win you some games over there. Big timers, a lot of big heavy hitting cards over here, and sometimes you want to zero into a Typhoid or something like that. And then I used a little bit of New Patriot, typical Patriot deck, Brood, Misty Knight. I lack High Evolutionary. That's where this deck really falls down. It's supposed to be a Patriot High Ev deck, but I don't have High Ev right now, so it lacks him. Lego, my Legio, was my Legion deck, and it also made use of Living Tribunal, and it did okay. Sometimes Living Tribunal would balance me out of a win, but more often than not, it actually worked pretty well. Of course, my All Along, which is my Agatha deck, Domino, Wave, Sif, Ghost Rider. So Wave and or Sif was the common. So nothing got played turn 1. Domino was forced turn 2. Wave or Lady Sif, you hope, turn 3. And then either Agatha plays herself off a wave, or you drop Ghost Rider on 4, which pulls in Agatha. If you play Agatha manually, there you go for your Taskmaster. Your win condition is Devil Dino if Agatha's screwing up or the zone screw you up. And then, of course, Red Skull, Spider-Woman, America Chavez, all relatively high cards. And America does not typically contest Agatha because you hopefully have Agatha out before America's there, so that in turn 6 she doesn't have to decide, well, who do I play, America or Agatha. Era took a little bit of a change, but she still works very, very well. I also had some success with Phoenix here in my Death Nyx deck, which was making use of Arnhem copying and spreading Death or Phoenix if she's got somebody good. And then some old decks over here were modified on reveal, and ongoing have been pretty much the same, but discard duty's been changed a little bit. And yeah, so a little before Loki dropped, I had an idea for a deck called the Enemy Deck Wrecker. Little did I know, I was kind of setting myself up for Loki somewhat. It makes use of Iceman and Yondu and Black Widow to kind of harass early on. Cable to go after their deck directly, as does Yondu and Iceman. Black Widow gets in there to slow their roll a little bit. Moon Knight forces them to discard. Maximus gives them cards that hopefully you force out with Black Bolt. Silver Samurai also forces enemy discard. Stature comes in for a very cheap 1 if the enemy is discarded. I don't run this deck because I don't have Stature, unfortunately. And then Hela is there in case anybody good is discarded from my own side. Hopefully Helicarrier is one of the cards that is discarded. I said here in my comments that if you don't have Stature, try Ham or Mirage to continue to sniff out the enemy deck, but you're losing a lot of power in not having Stature. For the Loki season, we have Loki on the season pass. He's a 3/5. Replace your hand with cards from your opponent's starting deck. They get -1 cost. So, you can zero into a Loki because a 3/5 honestly is pretty solid. If we were to look at the three energy drops, not a lot of them are 5 or higher. You got to scroll pretty far to get even to the 4s. So once you get into 4s, you get some good ones like Beast, Groot, Dakin, Kingpin for a setup in turn 6. You got some good choices in 3/4, but almost everything in 3/5 has some kind of a negative. Deathlock destroys cards. Obviously good if you're running a destroy deck, but otherwise could be bad. Hulkbuster, generally pretty good. The negative side to Hulkbuster isn't really that bad. There's Loki. Hopefully, what you could do is run Loki in a weenie deck and have a lot of crap cards that you hope you change up for during the switch. You get rid of crap cards like Wasp, Yellow Jacket, whatever, and then you get good cards, but your enemy deck has to be something that is actually worth playing. Polaris doesn't really have that big of a downside there. Spider-Man, of course, webs his own, usually not a negative for you. Swordmaster could be highly negative for you. Black Cat, chances are she's going to play herself right into the graveyard. And Maximus has the disadvantage in giving your enemy a card advantage, but he's got a lot of power. So, there isn't that much really above Loki that is super good. Spider-Man is one of the few, Polaris is, but you have to be running a discard deck for Swordmaster to be worth it. Black Hat is mostly, she just may as well call her Graveyard. And then Maximus has his role in a lot of decks. So if you zeroed Loki and just got a flat 3/5, that's not a particularly bad play, but there's better uses for him. So we can see the season rewards are 3 cards in variants. 1 for Loki, 1 for Enchantress, although Enchantress always looks kind of the same. And a sort of skeletal Thor. Card backs and a Loki back and a TVA back. And then avatars that match the cards. Enchantress, Loki, Thor. We're also going to get more TVA or Loki season-based cards. By the way, how do you guys feel about Loki Season 2? I'm excited because Loki was good. I liked Loki. I liked Scarlet Witch and Vision at the time. Liked Tefat, Winter Soldier, and Falcon. I was enjoying the Marvel shows at the time. Secret Wars comes around. It pisses off artists because of the AI intro. And then people said this really dropped the ball of the Secret War plot. I still liked it simply just for a Marvel show to watch, but I can admit it had some shortcomings in there. So some recent Marvel series are giving people a bad taste in the mouth for continued Marvel series. Ahsoka, also a Disney series. I haven't watched it yet. I've been excited to, but my excitement keeps dropping when I'm seeing things like, oh, nothing's happening in Ahsoka, and it's boring, and it's dead, and it's dull, and I don't know if it's just people being misogynistic and attacking a female-led show, or if it actually is kind of garbage. I haven't watched it yet. I don't know. I want to, but it's being knocked down a peg or two. So Loki comes at a time where some Disney and Marvel series may make people not want to watch it, but I'm really, really hoping Loki continues to be good. The first season was good. Hopefully it maintains its stranglehold in being good. But what do you guys think? Anyway, so we have Alioth coming in as a 6/5. On reveal, destroy all enemy cards played here this turn. I think he's got some synergy with Kingpin, because Kingpin says if a card moves here on turn 6, destroy it. So you have Kingpin covering moving to a zone, and you have Alioth covering playing into a zone. I think if you saw a Kingpin out, it might be armor fodder. So what you could do is potentially bait out and like drop a Kingpin somewhere to bait armor into that zone, and then you're free up to put Alioth somewhere else. That could be a very mental 4D chess kind of play, using Kingpin to bait out an armor. Be like, oh no, I see what the Kingpin's setting up for. They're armor, haha. You're not gonna fuck with me, Kingpin. And then Alioth is like, oh yeah. Very, very interesting here. Of course, you could potentially find a way to reduce his cost and have him drop early and then recover from it. If you could drop it through like Sarah. No, Sarah's not going to drop him early because Sarah's a 5-drop. If you could reduce Sarah and get Sarah out early, and then Sarah drops Alioth early, it gives you a little more time to react. Then again, the enemy has more time to react if he drops early. Good surprise card. Could be fun. Up next is Mobius, not to be confused with Morbius. It's not Morbin time, it's Mobin time. Your cost can't be increased. Your opponent's cost can't be reduced. Double positive card, very fun. However, you may see people laughing in Enchantress over there as Enchantress comes in and proceeds to turn off that ongoing ability, and he drops so early there's a lot of time to Enchantress him out of there. Zeroing him I don't think would do any good. Sauroning him I don't think would do any good, because a 2/3 isn't really that strong. So it's not like you ever want to play Mobius just to have him played as a card. You want him to be played as an ability. I think, unfortunately, he goes one round later than a common Iceman. If he could be used to stop Iceman early, that'd be nice. If he had like his power to have your cards not be increased no matter where he is in your deck or your hand, I think that'd be cool. But Iceman's probably gonna laugh and say, well, I've already done my work, so fuck off. Still could be a really fun card. Ravonna Renslayer comes in and says your cards with 1 or less power cost 1 less. So now this is actually kind of funny, because if you sort your deck by power, you'll see just how many things Ravonna Renslayer can affect, because it's not 1 power are going to cost 1 less. Your cards with 1 or less power cost 1 less. So that means Hobgoblin is cheaper. Hood becomes free. Green Goblin is cheaper. Mr. Negative gets to go a turn. Well, no, he doesn't get to go a turn earlier, because you got to get the 3. Unless somehow you reduce Ren and get her out earlier. But typically you would see Ravonna on 3. Mr. Negative would always be destined to be 4 or higher. But being able to play him and then a 1-cost on the same turn might be kind of cool. I don't think it affects Sunspot a hell of a lot because you want Sunspot out early. Adam Warlock kind of helps him and that he goes down to a 1. But again, this is a card you would want out early or as many turns as possible so you continue to get more cards over there. Angela, dropping her to 1, I think that is pretty cool. But hopefully you have still enough to bump Angela up, like a Brood obviously could be good there. Morbius, it doesn't matter when you play him because the discard pile will always be the same. Whether you play him in turn 6 or turn 2, it's going to have the same thing. But making him cheaper, of course, would be cool. A cheaper Cerebro, kind of cool. Cheaper Ironheart, also decent. More to combo. Ironheart getting out obviously too early means she may not have a lot of cards to buff. A cheaper Mystique could be used for some nice combos over there. Dropping her to a 2 means on turn 6 she could combo with somebody up to 4 power. A cheaper Dracula doesn't do much. Cheaper Darkhawk is actually beneficial to the enemy because they have more turns to try to dump their cards so as not to have a buffed up Darkhawk over there. Cheaper Iron Man, pretty neat. Being able to drop him at 4 could be nice. Cheaper Arnim Zola, I think, is very, very good. Cheaper Kang, situational. Cheaper Taskmaster, not really, because let's say you drop Renslayer on 3, that's not a particularly good card for Taskmaster to clone, so doing him on 4 right after Ravonna, not that great. But a cheaper Arnim Zola I really like. Wasp is already at 0. A 0-cost Ant-Man could be fun little surprise attack. Elektra, no, probably not going to be that good. Same thing for Hawkeye. Nebula, you want to play her early, so what good is it to have her be cheaper but later? A 0-cost Squirrel Girl I think could be fun. Might be a little too late in the match to have a 1-cost Black Widow, but actually screwing up, I've had a Black Widow screw up some of my later draws, and it's very, very effective. Could get a good chain going with Psylocke, reducing her to a 1-drop, and then comboing her with some cards, and then having extra energy should be fun. Cheaper Wolfbane could be fun. Cheaper White Tiger could be a lot of fun, giving you a better setup for Odin if you're a beginner and like to do the Odin White Tiger thing. So you're going to have to look at your deck and see what cards logically being cheaper makes sense to you. Some of the cards, they're just not that great to play later in the match, and unless you reduce Ravonna's cost, more often than not, the cards you're going to play are going to be on turn 4 at the possible earliest. Some good combinations with Zabu. Could be fun with Electro. Could be some 3D chess things going on over there. Cheaper Lockjaw could be cool. Drop him down to a 2 and then drop a 3-drop right after on Lockjaw to do a cycle on a turn where typically he wouldn't be able to do it. So yeah, there are some fun combos there. You're going to have to decide, looking through your own collection, if you have cards that them being cheaper as a 1 power or less will be good. So then we have the Spotlight Caches of Jeff Null and Ghost Spider. I have all of these, so I don't have to concern myself too much on that one. Then you have Snowguard, Alioth, Hitmonkey. I have Hitmonkey. Pulling either of the left 2 over there would be great. Jean Grey and Ravonna over there would be cool. I have Zabu, so I don't care about him. High Ev, Mobius, and Kang. I have Kang. So pulling High Ev or Mobius would be pretty cool. over there. So, yep, that, and then we have Time Theater, Mount Vesuvius, and some people have already reported playing against Time Theater and had fun with it. And Mount Vesuvius's players can't retreat after turn 5. Nice little lock-in over there. And Time Theater, copy the last card you drew instead of drawing your next card. Oh boy, could that be ugly. So here is a Loki deck that I thought of. Mostly taking some cues from the enemy deck wrecker over there, but Loki-potamus is what I'm calling it. Kitty Pryde, Mantis, Quinjet, Cable, Mirage, Collector. All cards, I think, pretty important to get out before Loki. Cable and Mantis kind of give me an idea what the enemy team is running. Quinjet helps after Loki drops. Mirage, again, kind of helps me learn about the enemy deck. Collector is, of course, a post-Loki boon over there. Coulson is in there to feed Devil Dino. And Loki is there to feed Devil Dino in case I don't like the cards. You know, just keep him in my hand for a beefy Devil Dino. Same thing for Nick Fury. But Nick Fury will be reduced by... or Nick Fury's cards will be reduced by Quinjet. White Queen also helps me sniff out the enemy deck a little bit. And then Sarah says your cards cost 1 less, which helps in case anything is good from Loki over there, further reducing things. I'm not exactly too sure yet where the win condition is unless the enemy feeds me good cards or I get something good out of Nick Fury. I think that's the win condition and Devil Dino. So I'm going to go ahead and do 1 match here with Loki-potamus, and we'll see where we get and see how horrendous this idea might actually be. Alright, so Cable and Mirage early is pretty cool. Shadowland is not a ideal zone for this. Cards here with the highest power have their power doubled. I'm going to drop a Mantis there to see... No, I don't think I will. They're probably not going to play a card there. It'd probably be too early to throw a good card there, so I'll drop a Cable. Alright, well, flub the Mantis play. Sunspot, Daredevil, okay. Pull the Bifrost. I'm going to go with Coulson to keep up with that Daredevil. Still don't have Loki yet. Oh, I pulled a Shuri. Wow. After turn 4, all cards move 1 location to the right. So, put Shuri over here. And that's going to move into... okay, I got an idea. No, I think Shuri... let's see, I forget if Shuri goes where it moves to. Well, I'll know because I'll get the little lines. Yeah, he's that. No, okay, gonna get the boost over there from Shuri because I saw the line. Jubilee on Shadowland. Jubilee pulls in. Vision, that's pretty beefy over there. Huh. Odin on the Bifrost and Hope. Yeah, let's see. Sandman, Kitty Pryde. I'm going to risk it all and beef up Bifrost and hope I win Throne Room. Sadly, not a good example of Loki, but it kind of a decent example of some other things on the deck. Yep, we should have it. Oh, that would have been nice if they... Oh, that would have been nice if there was a Devil Dino on the field. Shuri boosted into Emma over there, kept Doombot out of the equation, which was pretty good, and he wasn't able to generate enough power there. But God, would this have been a fun case for Devil Dino? Let's go ahead and give it one more shot and see if we can actually get Loki out there. Got some dailies out of the way, which is pretty cool. Alright, so Loki is there and Mirage is there. After you... Death Domain kind of sucks, though. Of course, that figures. Alright, so we'll drop Mirage. I could throw Loki at Death Domain because it's his on reveal that matters. However, well, now he's down in the 3-4. Okay, let's do that. Let's see how the interaction with Quinjet works over here. Oh, I got a Green Goblin. Very nice. Let's chew up his Green Goblin, and then let's send him a Green Goblin. I can get Nightcrawler out on a location, and on the final turn, move Nightcrawler into Death Domain and probably get the win there. Nope. He's going to match it, I bet. Have a taste of your own medicine. So that is looking pretty good. Alright, let's go. I think Sewer System is pretty much wrapped up. I'm going to drop a Nightcrawler and Kitty. I think I've got some plans over here. Move Nightcrawler on... Oh, he moved it early. Ooh, a Magnet... Oh, a Living Tribunal. Very interesting. Why Angela over there? That was weird. Oh, maybe he screwed up the turn order. Sewer System, I think, is wrapped up. So I'm going to go Devil Dino over there. And Kitty Pryde over here. It weakens Devil Dino a little bit, but may help Necrosha a little bit. Let's see what we get. Oh, am I going to survive the Hobgoblin? Yeah. Oh, no, I don't. But I'm glad I placed Kitty Pryde on Necrosha over there. Didn't think I was going to lose the Storm Zone, but Hobgoblin was just good enough. That was a good play on his part over there. Not like he would have seen it coming, but... so there you see the value of Loki a little bit. You get to see what the opponent is running. And you also kind of have an idea what they may have in their deck. Like if you get a card, let's say I pulled Debris, but then I never saw him place Debris, I would know that's in his hand. So if that was like a Patriot deck, that would be a good sign over there. But yeah, giving me his Green Goblin definitely worked out, and his Carnage definitely worked out over there. So now you see the value of Loki's. He's kind of got like a foresight thing going on over there. Fun match. Glad to see my first win with Loki on my first pull of Loki. And yeah, got some daily missions out of the way out of it. So Thanks for checking out this video, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Not too sure what the next video will be concerning Marvel Avengers Alliance Redux, but there is one other video I would like to get out as soon as possible, and it's in relation to Starfield and some of the minor, inconsequential, but still controversial things that are going on with Starfield. So look for that video soon. Also, take care, everybody.